Hi, Vanessa. I don't know. What is this color? It's like a fall color, right? It's very fall. But it's not orange. It's not maroon. Hey, Bobby. Good afternoon. How are you? Oh, then that sounds so proper. Good afternoon, Bobby. Is it like rust color? Is that what it's called? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't know if any of you guys see my vlog yesterday, but I was talking about how I was at Target, and I have a shirt like this, and it's from Target, and it's like a brown, and I love it. I love the way the shirt fits. Like, do you ever just find something that fits so perfect? So I went to Target yesterday to see if they had these still in, because I was like, I'm getting every color, right? And they did, but they only had a few in my size, so I grabbed every color. Even if I didn't like love the color, I was like, I'm not sure about this color. I was like, I don't care, I'll make it work somehow. New potato? What do you mean, new potato? It is very fall. Like burnt red or brick red. It's like, in my mind, I can almost like, I feel like you could call it anything, right? Is that like a color, Bobby? That's the color? Bobby always comes up with the answers. Okay. It might have had it on there. I never look at I never read what the brand of this is. Like, you know how like Target has like their brand, but then they have other brands as well. Like a russet potato. Hi, Edwin. Hi, Cece. Me too, Cece. And it's like 71 degrees today. It's not so sunny. It's very windy. I was parked here for a little bit, and I don't know why my voice, it feels like I want to cough when I'm talking. The wind was like blowing my car almost. And I'm like, oh my God, we get like a tornado or something here? My nails don't match. Yeah, it was close enough. I just did my nails yesterday. So I was like, you know what? This works for me. Hey, Bridget. Let it makes no sense how that color resembles You know, anything goes today. I was talking to my son about this. My older son. I was talking about the pants that I want. I was telling you guys in my vlog that I want to get like those, you know, those like windbreaker type pants. I used to wear them all the time. They're just like a baggier, light type of like pants, right? And they're like in style now, right? But my son's like, Mom, anything's in style, like literally. And I always said that too. Like, you can wear anything today, which I love that. I love that. Like, you can wear the wide-legged jeans. You can wear the tight jeans. I remember when tights first started getting in style, I'm like, I can't be wearing these tights. Like, that goes back to when you were little. What did they were called, like stirrups or something? Remember those girls? Like, you would wear the little stirrup thing. I'm thinking of buying vehicle, and I'm a little stressed. Well, if you're stressed, Rebel, I say don't do it yet. Take a step back. Anytime that I feel overwhelmed with something, or I feel like an anxiety around something like new that I'm going to do, I don't do it. I know that that intention is enough, and I will line up with it when I'm ready. I've learned that through experience, Rebel, that you can't make a mistake either. So if you do it, you do it, whatever. But my thing from experience, I've noticed that if I have an intention and a strong desire for something, and I start acting on it too soon and there's anxiety there, that it's not time, or that I'm overwhelmed with it, or that I'm trying too hard with it, or I'm thinking too hard around it, I'm making it too difficult, I'm not aligned with it yet. So I take a step back from it, and sometimes I don't think about it at all, and it'll pop up in my reality again, but it'll be easy. It'll just start to happen. Does that make sense, Rebel and guys? How can I change my money story? I feel like I need more savings. So the biggest thing about money and about everything, about life in general and this reality and manifesting, is that you don't want to live conditionally when it comes to money. So you want to make it more about you feeling good in this moment, making the best of where you're at, user. Money will be the byproduct, but you're going to be working through some limiting beliefs first. I had to work through some limiting beliefs around money, right? And you're going to have your own path, but you have to understand that, like, when you start making money, when you do start bringing in more money, you start like having more fun with life and money starts to come in, it's easy to go back to old habits and make money conditional again, where it's like, oh, I only got this much now and I don't have that much, and you start reacting again. So do these practices a little bit more. Know that you're going to move towards better and best when it comes to like money and financial freedom and all of that, and you're going to be working through limiting beliefs. But remember, guys, this is easy. The way my technique is easy. You're literally making the best of where you're at. And when there's something happening and you can't, you just got to stay calm, quiet, and relax your body through that. It's not always easy, but it gets easier. But that's what's moving you towards best and better. Hi, I noticed when I have coffee, it's harder. So that's a limiting belief. Okay, that's a limiting belief. That's a story you created over time, Jenny. That, oh my gosh, I drink coffee, I can't think, I can't calm. I can't stay calm. That's literally just a story that you created, and now you have that as a limitation in your life. So you can either cut back, and that might help you release resistance around that, or you can just be aware that you're creating that story now. You're creating that story, and you can just relax when you're drinking it and remind yourself, wait, no, that's just a story that got created over time. There's no limitations around drinking coffee. I enjoy drinking coffee, and start telling a new story. So there's a couple of ways you can go about it, but you just want to be aware that you created that story. You're creating that story. It's almost like you're blaming the coffee in a way for you not being able to be calm. So you can cut back and again, do these practices though. Relax, stay calm, and do these practices. Hey, Christine. Hey, Sally. How to not think of it as logic, science versus just beliefs. It's known caffeine causes. Well, that's up to you. I choose not to. You can take, here's the thing, Sally and guys, this is you having your own experience. You get to take on whatever you want. You get to take on whatever beliefs you want. And I choose whatever. I won't argue with people's beliefs. If you want to believe that it's bad for it causes this, it causes that, then you can, Sally. But if that doesn't work for you anymore, if that doesn't vibe with you anymore, then you have to practice relaxing around that topic and releasing that limitation, Sally. But guys, I give you what works for me. But I'm not going to argue with you what you decide to believe and what you don't decide to believe. I decide what I want to believe. You decide what you want to believe. Does that make sense? So I won't argue about your beliefs. It's just if something doesn't vibe with you anymore and it's not resonating with you, you have the option to release that limiting belief. And I'm just giving you the techniques and tools to do that, which is literally just relaxing. But I won't argue with people's belief systems. You can choose what you want. Hi, Dream. I stay away from that stuff. I stay away from science and other people's opinions. And I also have a strong belief within me, and I know what resonates with and what's not. So if I don't vibe with something, I'm stable enough to go, nope, that's not for me. That don't resonate with me, right? Does that make sense? What's the best thing when old stories are persistent and overwhelming and don't just come and go? You have to relax, and because they pop up a lot, I'm just going to be honest. I had many stories that have very dominant beliefs around them. Remember, it's the belief behind the story that came up a lot of times, but I just keep practicing this because you want to get good at non-reaction, because that's going to change your life for the best. So you just have to keep practicing. You have to keep staying calm and relaxing your body, and let life and reality show you how powerful you truly are by doing these practices. But yeah, again, some of these dominant beliefs are they're harder than others. They kind of been with us for a really long time. So you just got to be consistent. I want to believe in everything. That's fabulous. That allows me everything I want with ease. And me too, Bobby. That's it. I say, guys, I just want to be happy. I want to live my best life. I want to, enjoy everything this life has to offer. And I just want to, that's it. That's simple. Thanks, Dream. I know, it's such a good fit, Dream. It's such a good fit. So these are at Target, guys. If you guys are interested, it's like my favorite kind of top. They do still have them in stock. Get them now. They're cheap. They're like, I think they were $8 or something. So get them now while you can. I know, Chris. I know. Guys, it's normal. It's normal. It's normal to be in that energy for a little bit. Chris, main thing is just to keep relaxing, keep settling yourself down into this moment. It's all normal. You're not making a mistake. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. It just takes practice to be able to be on the other side where you're more in flow, right? Where you're able to settle yourself down in each moment, where you're able not to take things so seriously, where you start to trust this more, trust the process more. But trust me, it's normal. So just keep doing your best to bring your attention and focus to this moment, whatever you're doing in this moment. And don't make too much of this moment. If you're like, what do I do? What should I do? Just settle yourself down. You remind yourself, I can't make a mistake in this moment. I just have to make the best of this moment, whatever that may be in this moment, right? It's all about this moment. And when I really can't, guys, I can't make the best of this moment. Something got a hold of me. I'm just going to relax my body, stay quiet in that moment. And I'm going to use this moment to my advantage as well by relaxing my body and getting good at non-reaction. Have you ever heard of the sun? So yes, I heard it in all different kinds of ways, JC. To me, it's more as you just get better at practicing non-reaction. So it may seem like things are like, all of a sudden, there's like all these things happening, but it's not about what's happening outside of you. It's more of what's happening inside of you in those moments, guys. It's more about, are you able to stay calm and laugh it off? That's how you know that you've changed. So I don't really focus on what's happening too much on the outside, more so how I'm able to handle situations, right, in each moment. So I don't really get involved in the Sabbath or everything's got to fall apart before things can come in. It's just, how am I handling this situation in this moment? Is this affecting me like it used to, or am I laughing it off? Am I moving on from it knowing it'll work itself out? And that's, for me, what's important, not about what's happening outside of me. Does that make sense? Hi, Kennedy. Do they have olive green? They had olive green. Bobby. So they had every color, but not in my size. They even had like light gray, white. So yeah, I have a green one. And then the one color I wasn't sure about, it's very, very purple. It looks like Barney. And I'm like, I don't know about this, but maybe I can make it work with like a really purple lipstick. I was thinking that might be fun, like something like that. Go, Kennedy, go get them. Go get them. They had a lot, so I'm sure they'll have them at everybody's Targets. But let me tell you, these are a great fit. This is the smallest size, but I run different like sometimes I'm a small, sometimes I'm an extra small. Sometimes an extra small I can't breathe in. It's like I can't even move in it. But this I like in the smaller, so maybe go a size smaller. Because it's very stretchy, it's very fitted. I love this top. The material, it's good material. Yeah, I always think of Barney when I see those purples. And I think you can make it work. You can make that purple work. It depends on like what you're matching things with, right? I said, I'm just getting whatever they have in my size. I don't care what color it is. Literally, that's how much I like these shirts. That's what I'm saying, Dream. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I could do something with like my nails and like, my lipstick or whatever, right? Hey, Adam, right? How are you, Adam? Richard, how are you with the process of everything? You're saying that's all you think about because now you're opened up to all this, right? But it's exciting and fun. Like, this stuff's exciting and fun. Tips on how to slow my heart rate so I can relax. Well, relaxing is going to help you. So let's think. Okay, so slow your heart rate. I would breathe slower, Savage. I would breathe slower in that moment. I would move slower, right? Practices like that. Talk slower. I used to say this all the time. You got to slow your pace, right? You got to take your time. You got to be able to sit and just like slow down and really, because you can be sit here but still be in a panic, right? So again, it takes practice though. It does for a lot of us that have like anxiety, that are more fast paced, to really be able to like calm yourself down in those moments. But breath work can be really helpful, Savage. Like a breath in and a really slow breath out. Like you'll feel your heart rate slow down in that moment when you do something like that, like a slow breath out. Oh, nice to see you too, Adam. That's funny. I do that. I'll associate the color of... Do you too, DD? Yeah. I don't know why purple always just reminds me of Barney. I always go back to Barney. I think it's because my little brother would watch Barney all the time. So I was always watching Barney all the time. And like, I always think of that purple with Barney. Do you trust tarot cards? What if they give... So, Victoria, it's not... So, tarot readers are... They're just speaking. They're just saying messages, right? It's up to you to decide if that works for you or not. But tarot readers are very like... I'm trying to find the right words. Like, they're telling you. Like, it's easy to take on that, whatever they say, right? So it's up to you to decide, nah, that one doesn't work for me, or yes, that works for me, or that doesn't resonate with me. It's up to you. It's up to you, right? The more that you do these practices, you're going to resonate. You're going to attract, I know, I don't like to say the word, ones that are more in alignment with you getting better at this stuff, right? Finding things that when you release a lot of your limitations and you release a lot of your fear-based belief systems, you really only come into alignment with ones that are more resonating with you. But it doesn't mean from time to time ones will pop up that are not. But that's your job to not let it bother you. So that's where doing these practices comes into play. The more you do these practices, the more you practice relaxing and releasing your limitations by relaxing, you're going to be like, oh, no, absolutely not. That doesn't resonate with me. It'll be easy for you to just, you get to choose. Guys, this is your own reality. You're creating your own reality, right? It's not even really, it is about choosing, but it's more so about releasing your fear-based belief systems. It's more so about that. That's where relaxing, meditation, making the best of this moment is going to help you. Doing my practice is going to help you release fear-based belief systems, okay? It's more so about that. Then you're going to understand that, oh, this is all me having my own personal experience, clearly just you. It's all you having your own personal experience with your belief systems. So the more you meditate, the more you relax, the more you stay calm, you start to become more sensitive to how you feel, which that's what you want. You want to be more sensitive to how you feel. And when things don't feel good, you know that's a limitation in your life. You know that's a fear-based belief system. And you know your only job is to relax and stay calm and soften your body in those moments to release it. I was applying for jobs today and stop doing it. Stop doing it. Anytime, I was just talking about this in the beginning, Huns. Anytime I ever felt like it felt hard, I was having anxiety doing something, I was forcing it, I always took a step back. You're not in alignment with it yet. You're not in alignment with it yet. So if you're setting an intention and you're taking action and it feels forced, there's effort behind it, stop doing it. Always, you're not in alignment with it. Trust me, I've been there, done it. You can, like I said, you can't make a mistake. So if you decide to push through, it's all good. It'll all work out because you're unlimited. Remember that. But there's better ways to go about it. I always take a step back. What do you do when work in a fast-paced work environment? Do these practices. You can do them anywhere. I did them. I worked in a healthcare emergencies at times. It's the best place to do these practices, if anything. It's the best place to stop and take your time. You can still do these practices. You can do these practices anywhere. But also know that when you come home, do these practices, right? So like I always said, Huns, I would get up early in the morning so I could take my time getting ready. Took my time getting ready, made sure I had plenty of time for myself to move slower, breathe slower, meditate. Then I started my day and I went in and it was always a good day because I started it out early before I even went in by taking my time, right? Giving myself that time, doing these practices. And it just gets easier, I was in these lives years ago. You're the person who made me believe in this. I'm very... Oh, I love that, Richard. I'm so happy to see you. And I'm happy that it was a positive impact. It's okay, Sam. I did a work contract and it was great, but I'm still looking for work and nothing has come. So stop. You gotta, okay, Sam, first of all, it's okay that you're having a bad day. But again, you have to just practice making the best of where you're at. I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but guys, you gotta think about it like this. Even as your life's starting to manifest, things are starting to come in that are more in alignment with you, it's always going to come back to this moment and making the best of this moment. That's a choice. That's a choice. That takes a little bit of practice. Does take a little bit of practice because, again, we're so reactive. But it's always going to come back to making the best of where you're at always, right? So you want to make that your practice. But here, the byproduct of that is that you start to bring in things that are more in alignment with you. It's such a simple thing, but yet it takes practice for us to do that, to really make the best of this moment no matter what it may be. And sometimes that means, and most of the time that means, even for me, guys, to settle myself down for a minute and remind myself that. And it's saying it doesn't matter what I do, just make the best of what I choose to do in this moment. And everything else works itself out. It does, right, Cece? I do too. Yeah, I do, Cece. I believe that, we planned this before we got here. We planned to come here and work and really release our fear-based belief system so we could all come here and live an amazing life. All of us get this opportunity, right? But it really all comes down to just us, me, and then you, we're having our own personal experience, right? So I believe in a way we do have a destiny. I think we do have certain agreements with people in our lives. I do believe in that to a degree because I've just met certain people in my life that stood out from others. No offense, but they just do. It's you just resonate with certain people, people that are close to you. So I do believe in those agreements before you came here type thing. So yes, I do believe that we had a destiny. Some people don't believe in that, but I do believe we get to choose too. There's a lot of choosing what you want while you're here. That's the point. That's the fun part. That's the fun part, right? But I do believe for the most part, and I think that's what releases a lot of resistance for people as well, and myself, knowing that I can't make a mistake because I already planned to come here and live an amazing life. So I really just got to sit back and make the best of this moment. That's my only job. My only job is just to chill out, relax, and make the best of this moment. Literally, that's my only job. Everything else works itself out always. Hi, BB. So use this moment, Sam, to your advantage, right? Use it to do the practices, to settle yourself down and say, you know what? I can make the best of this moment. I can make the best of this moment no matter what it is. what can I do right now to make the best of this moment? Like, ask yourself those types of questions. Hi, Lilani. Someone keeps beeping a horn and I can't. It's probably an alarm. I'm at, like, it's like a food store around here. Just here, you know what, Sam? And I always try to tell people, don't try so hard. That word try, it always like shakes me a little bit because like you don't have to try. Thanks, Richard. Actually, Sam, the more you relax, the more you like settle yourself down into this moment, it works itself out. Like, to me, that's the practice, guys. That's what really helps you not be so reactive to life, because remember, reaction is reacting. It's like reacting things you don't want to react anymore. So that's why it all comes down to relaxing, and feeling good is the byproduct of that. But it's not really it's about resting. It's about relaxing and being able to soothe yourself and settle yourself down, because then you're led to the next best thing pretty naturally, pretty effortlessly. But when people say they're trying so hard, I'm always like, don't try so hard, right? Don't effort. Do the opposite. Relax. Rest your body. I feel like it's tiny reshuffling the more you start to constantly feel good. Yeah. And you know what, Kennedy? And the more you start to feel good, you also you still got to remind yourself, like, it's up to me now. Like, now that you're getting better at it and you're getting better at feeling good in this moment and things are getting better, you are manifesting more of what's in alignment with you. Your life's easier. You're more light most of the time, more carefree. I'm sorry, but I still need to remind myself, like, it's up to me to feel good and make the best of this moment, right? It's up to me to be consistent with these practices and relax and know it's okay to relax, and it's okay that, it's okay, like, that I can just sit here and do nothing sometimes. Nobody's judging me. So, like, it's up to me. It's always going to be up to me, not anyone else outside of me. I'm doing the practices, but I have a lot of negative thoughts, but feelings. Yeah, so just know this, Marta. And guys, just know this. And what Marta's saying is she's doing the practices, but she has a lot of negative thoughts and bad feelings coming up from my past. Very, very normal. It's very normal. They're limiting beliefs, okay? So you're going to have negative thoughts, stories, and circumstances come up. You are, because that's how you release limiting beliefs, is so they can come up to be released. Your main thing, Marta, is to remind yourself you don't have to figure it out. You're going to be moving towards best case scenario in each moment. Your only job in those moments is to relax your body. That's it. When I say that, I mean that. You're just softening your body. You have to know that even when a story's there, even when these stories from your past, it doesn't matter when they are, right? Because there only is now anyway. Whenever these let's just call it a limiting belief. Let's not even don't make the story important. It's this limiting belief behind it. You're just relaxing your body, and that's enough. It's dying. You are actually breaking down those fear-based belief systems when you just relax your body. Also know this, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, but it doesn't mean you're not breaking down those limiting beliefs by relaxing your body. You are still. That's how powerful you are in those moments. That's how much this works, is because it's so easy, but people don't realize it, and they panic and they go back to old patterns because they don't realize they're making progress by just softening their body and not speaking about their problems. They're keeping it to themselves. Yeah, because yes, it's almost like I try not to listen to anything because thanks, Bridget. Like, Bashar, like, I love that Bashar, Abraham's my favorite. I like Bashar too, but he even talks about how a lot of things are going to come to the surface, but you're getting better at this stuff. So you're able to stay calm. He doesn't say the word calm, but I know what he means because through my own experience, I know how this works. But I just like to know that I'm getting better, and that's enough. Like, I try not to make these things outside of me important like that, right? And make these stories so, like, oh God, like, so real. I don't want to make them so real. So my job is just to keep getting better at this, to keep remaining light, reminding myself, you know what? So this is so simple. But this is so powerful. When I'm doing something I don't want to do anymore, it's not favorable to me anymore, I just don't want to do it, and I'm making the best of it, I say light and soft in those moments. That's enough for me. I say, no, your true state is light and soft, because and Bashar says this too, what's meant for you does not weigh anything. It weighs nothing, what's meant for you. So whenever I'm doing something that feels a little heavy and not in alignment with me, I say light and soft, and I remind myself to stay light and soft. And that's enough as I'm making the best of it. That's enough for me. Just to remind myself that light and soft, because that's moving me towards more things that are in alignment with me and moving me out of this that doesn't serve me anymore. So I'm homeless, living in SUV. I ran out of gas and I have an orientation at 3 a.m. today for a new job. I don't know what you're asking me, Deja. Deja, it's not walkableness. It's how am I supposed to stay calm? So you have to be willing. I can only give you guys, like I said, Deja, you have to be willing to want to do this, to want to make the best of this moment, to want to practice staying calm. I can give you the techniques to do it, but you have to be willing to do it. I know I've been in very tough and similar situations, Deja, but I either had a choice to keep reacting and being mad at my circumstances or to do these practices, and I chose to do these practices. So I chose to live and not to give in to these circumstances. So you really have to just be willing to want to do it, Deja. Like, I can't force you to do it. It's just doing it, right? And you also have to be open to the fact, Deja, that you're here to live an amazing life. You have to accept that. And you have to know that in this moment, you're moving towards better just by knowing that, right? But I can say it over and over again to you. But again, it's you that has to say, you know what, she's right. I'm choosing to stay calm. I'm choosing to know that I'm moving towards best and better. Like I always say, it's really up to us. I can only give you the tools and techniques that worked for me. And everything fabulous is meant for you. The unfavorable is your creation. I know, right, Bobby? Right? Like, it's like I created this. I'm in it right now, but I created it, right? But a lot of it is created, like I always say, guys, like, you're always limited in this moment. You're always limited. To a degree, you're always limited. So just know that you're always going to be moving towards better as well. So you're always going to have some sort of contrast because you're always going to be moving towards more and better. Right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, once you break through the fear-based dominant belief systems, you're more free. You're more free to choose. You're more in alignment. You're kind of choosing what you want to do in each moment. But occasionally something comes up that doesn't serve you anymore. You created it, yes. But it's not as heavy. It's easier to work through. You get better at this. And it's like, okay, I know how this works now. So I try not to make it about money, Stephen. I make it more about, I just want to do what I love, and money will be the byproduct, right? So it's more about being okay with where you're at in regards to money. You really have to be okay with where you're at, making the best of where you're at, and applying these practices. Applying these practices are going to help you not be so reactive to the fact that you don't have enough money, and that what do I got to do, and how do I get there? You're, like I said, you're still in the other side. You want to get on the other side of flow, of receiving mood, in the allowing mood. So doing these practices are going to help you do that. But right now, you have limiting beliefs around money, right? So that's what these practices do. They help you break down the limiting beliefs you have around money. That's what they do. And trust me, the more you do these practices, you're clear as day when that stuff happens, guys. You're clear as day when something shakes you about money. You're like, whoa, I gotta relax here. And trust me, you just keep doing it. You'll work out of those. You will move towards best and better in each moment. It's like I said, it all comes down to not being so conditional around money and anything in your life. Not needing things to be a certain way for you to feel good. I can continue to feel good because I know I'm moving towards best and better in each moment. You really want to just be able to soften, settle down, lighten up, not take it so seriously in that moment. You're moving towards best and better just by doing that. No problem, Deja. And just know that, it just takes a little bit of practice, but we've all been there. We all have, I know, people can they always have a story. I'm like, I have similar stories for almost everything. It's not always easy. I know. But it works. It just takes practice. Because the thing about it is, when we fall victim to our circumstances, we stay in that circumstance. We keep repeating it. That's called reaction. That's what reaction is. Reaction is recreating. It says it in the word. You're reacting. You want to keep moving towards better, new, best. I would find time to meditate, to quiet your mind and do breath work. Start there. You're deprogramming your mind. You're breaking down these fear-based belief systems that you have. You have fear-based belief systems. So you got to find time throughout your day to quiet it. You can easily say, this isn't going to work for me. This probably isn't going to work for me. Then this isn't for you. And that's okay. I won't force anyone. But you can start simply by starting a meditation practice and adding some breath work. Definitely is going to help you. You'll see changes in your life just by doing that. Okay, so just saying it's hard when you live in a toxic family, that's another story. That's another circumstance. It's another circumstances. You're falling victim to circumstances, to a story, right? That got created from your past beliefs and conditions, right? So you have to learn how to be okay in that environment. You have to learn how to calm yourself down in that environment, right? Sometimes it means not being around that environment as much if you have that option. But if not, some of us don't have that option. You got to learn how to get calm in that environment. Everything will reflect back to you in a more positive way when you start to feel better in that environment. But again, you're falling victim to a circumstance. You're blaming something for you not being able to feel good. Then you're going to keep getting those same results over and over again. So you got to use these unfavorable stories to help you practice this. I promise you, it always works out in your favor. And all that happens, let's say, if that person, place, or thing decides not to change outside of you, let's just say, guess what? It's going to be moved out of your life, and you don't got to figure that part out. Because if you're staying positive no matter what, energy doesn't lie. Everything's a reflection. It won't be able to sustain your energy. So you're just going to get better at this, and you're going to keep raising your energy, and you're going to be more at peace, and you're going to be more happy. And if something else decides not to match your energy, it cannot stay in your energy. It just can't. That's just how this reality works. Right? That's what Bobby said. That's like, we don't even realize how big that is. Like Bobby, and it's a lot of people that come and ask me questions. It's like right off the bat, you're telling your story. You're telling your unfavorable story, but that's number one. That's why I used to say that's number one. Is you not repeating this unfavorable story. Keeping it to yourself. Stay quiet with that story. Do not express it. Because as soon as you're expressing it, you're making it real again. You're keeping it active. You got to internalize it. I like to use the word internal. You cannot speak about your problems. You got to keep your problems to yourself. You got to practice keeping your problems to yourself. As the smallest to biggest problems, keep them to yourself. It's such a habit for us to talk about our problems. We've been programmed that way. There's nothing wrong with you if you're doing that. We've been programmed that way. We have been trained that way to talk about our problems. But I'm telling you right now, start practicing that, catching those moments when you're ready to vent, when you're ready to call a friend, when you're ready to call your partner, text your partner, anyone in your life, even your kids. Sometimes we would tell our problems to our kids, for God's sakes. Like, literally, like, I'm telling you, I've been there with all of this. I've been through this, but it's going to change your life for the best. When you keep your problems to yourself, they will, if you can make that a practice, keep your problems to yourself and stay calm and keep it to yourself and relax your body as much as possible, it will resolve itself. Some of them disappear. They disappear. But if you're right off the bat calling a friend, keeping it active, it just stays there. And it may show up in other different ways, but you're keeping a limiting belief active. But you know what? We need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of that because most of us are not. We're not aware of that. So your questions are good. Bringing up these stories, like, Deja, when you're coming in, all you guys, and you come up and you say, but I'm this, but I'm homeless. And at least it gives me an opportunity to share this information. That's so going to change your life for the best. And it's you taking your life back. What if you did already? Do we just not talk about it anymore? It's just making you more aware, Bella. You're going to probably do it a couple times, but you're going to be like, oh no, I don't do that anymore, right? It's just making you more aware. Bella, you're going to probably do it a couple times, but you want to be able to say, no. You'll get to a place, Bella, where you're like, oh, wait, I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. It is so addictive. It is so addictive to want to talk about your problems. Like, we all can be honest there. Nobody is different. Nobody's better than anyone else, guys. That one takes practice. What would you suggest if most of the people know about my situation and they always asking? So, Marta, I would say everything's going good. That's what I would say. So if that's how you'll eliminate people asking you that, is if they do ask you, say, oh, it's good, everything's working out. And that's it. You always give them a positive answer. And people won't ask you anymore. They won't. They literally won't. I promise you. I've been there too. Dream said, oh, it's all working out. Literally, that's what you say. You say, yeah, it's all working out. Things are good. Or, you could even like change the subject to something else. But I know, I've been there. Christine said it works. It works. It does. When you're giving people like a positive answer that you normally would go back and forth about your problems with, it's like, they're not asking you anymore. Because you're saying, oh, everything's good. Oh, I love that, Linda. I love that. And just think, that's benefiting you as well. Because that's an affirmation. That's an affirmation. So when someone's saying to you, like, hey, girl, how's life going? And you're like, everything's really good. Everything's great. That's literally an affirmation. You keep saying that over and over again. Trust me. Yeah. They'll be like, I ain't asking them no more. That was awkward. Or say something awkward. Bobby said, say something dirty. Say something like real awkward, right? It's true. It's true, Linda. It's true, guys. Like I don't sit here. I'm not Queen Bee sitting here saying I didn't vent and I didn't complain and I didn't speak about my problems. I really practice this, but it does change your life for the best. I wasn't one to talk about my life with people, but certain things are obvious when you're going through certain things. Like I said, my whole life flipped upside down. My life was clear, it was obviously my life changed, right? So yeah, people do ask, but you start to get better at not really, like I said, you, like Christine said and Dream said, you just say everything's good. Nobody asks you anymore. But guess what? Your life's actually is getting better. So when people ask, how are you? What do you say to keep it brief? But it's a close friend. I just say everything's great. Everything's going great. It keeps getting better, or I keep it simple and I say it's good. I say it's good. And I just say it very light, like that. Like, yeah, it's good, right? Like, everything's good. That's it. And I kind of change the subject from there. Or I'll say, I don't even, I never ask how, I learned my lesson not to ask how people are doing too. Like, how is everything? But yeah, I just say, yeah, everything's really good. Everything's going good. Thanks for asking. And that's it. Watch, try it out a little bit. You'll realize how easy it is. How easy it is just to end a conversation by saying, yeah, everything's really good. Thanks for asking. And that's it. And we are, right, Bobby? And I always say, I don't sit here I don't have moments too, or I don't go back to old habits and patterns and stuff, but I know this works, and because it worked for me. It changed my life. I do think I am living a life that's more in alignment with me, right? But like I said, it's still up to me in each moment. It's up to me. It's not up to anyone else to constantly like remind myself that I just got to make the best of this moment, whatever that may be. And I can't make a mistake, whatever I choose, right? Do you believe that everyone is you pushed out? So I look at it like this, Stephen. This is how I look at everyone as you pushed out. I look at it like this, Stephen. I'm having my own personal experience. You're having your own personal experience, right? This is me having my own personal experience with my belief systems, right? Anything outside of me, person, let's just use people, that is in my reality or that comes to me, and I don't vibe with them or what they're saying, it's just giving me an opportunity to work through a limiting belief that I have. But it's all me. It's all me with my belief system. So I don't get too wrapped up in each person or in my life, and because that's way too complicated, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. In that moment, if you're experiencing something, Stephen, that doesn't feel good to you, it's a limiting belief within you that has to be resolved. That's it. So whatever that may be, and the practice is simple. You're just getting calm and relaxing to release that limitation. Literally. It's only making you a better person. Like, that sounds mean, but when you're staying calm and relaxing, if you're not vibing with something or someone outside of you, by you staying calm and relaxed and not trying to figure it out, it's making you better. It's making you you're choosing the better option in that moment to move towards best and better for yourself. But you can't worry about what people outside of you choose to do. You have to just choose what's best for you. And by you in that moment just staying quiet and staying calm and not trying to figure anything out, knowing you're moving towards best and better, you're going to move towards best and better. So that's kind of how I explain to everybody, everything is you pushed out. You really got to know it's just about you and you having your own personal experience. What's your advice for someone to make new friends, to meet new people in general? So Ella, the more you do these practices, the more you start to feel better on your own and like be your own best friend and start to love your own company, Ella. You start to align with more people that like resonate with you, and you'll know right off the bat if you click with somebody or don't. And Ella, a lot of times the more you do these practices, people that are in your life actually start to resonate with you as well. So it's not like you don't have to like leave your life. It's not like you have to walk away from everything, guys. A lot of times people start to reflect back to you that are in your reality, and they start to match your energy. But again, don't make that your mission. Because you don't want to be focusing on things outside of you, people, places, and things. You really want to make it about you, feeling good no matter what. And if something presents itself to you that doesn't feel good in that moment, then I'm going to do the practices. But I'm not trying to look or try to change a story or try to look for things. I'm not looking for limiting beliefs, guys. They'll show themselves to you. You got to focus on you feeling good on your own, being your own best friend, doing these practices, right? That's where we go back to like trying to figure out where my limiting belief came from. Let me get to the core of it. Like, I don't have time for any of that. This is way easier than that. It's breaking habits, deprogramming. Sharing isn't always caring. I know that, right? It's another program, right? Sharing isn't always caring unless it's something positive, like, hi, you have pretty nails, or you look pretty today, or oh, I like your hair color. That's when sharing is good, when it's positive. How to change a belief with. So that's Christina. I know I've seen you on here before. I don't manifest that way personally. I don't like that. But again, that's me, Christina. I break down fear-based belief systems by staying calm. I don't affirm over them. I've done that before. It never worked for me. I still was unhappy. I still had so many limitations. It felt like it was taking forever, and it got me so far. So I don't reprogram ever. I do not reprogram. I deprogram. So when something shows up that doesn't feel good, I stay calm and quiet and make the best of it in that moment. That's the only thing I do, Christina. I don't reaffirm over anything. I don't persist in anything. I only persist in making the best of this moment. That's what I persist in. I persist in making the best of this moment and staying as calm and quiet as I possibly can when I can't. But what do you do when people say, I know there's something wrong, tell me? I would say, I would persist in that, Linda, and saying, I don't know, nothing wrong, but nothing. And I would just smile and be real light about it. And I would laugh. And I'd be like, no, everything's great. But thank you so much for caring. You're so caring. I would switch it on to them. Oh my God, you're so caring. Thank you so much. Now everything's really good. Just leave it at that, Linda. Don't think too much into it. What do you do if a person outside of yourself is talking about you negative, telling lies? What if a person outside of yourself is talking about you? How would you even know that? Unless you're looking for something like that. If somebody that's a story you're creating. That's a limiting belief, Stephen, to even think that someone else is talking to someone else about you. That's you. That's a limiting belief, right? Who cares what people are always talking. You can't care what people think about you. You got to just be okay with being you. So I would just stay calm and quiet and remind myself that's a story I'm creating. That's a story I'm creating. Bring that back to you, feeling good on your own, feeling good in this moment when I can't stay calm. That is definitely a story, an unfavorable story. That's a circumstance, right? And that's just a limiting belief. That is a limiting belief right there. Calm and quiet, relaxed. It's not true. It's a lie. That's not true. It's a lie. Get calm, get quiet. How can I feel good in this moment? Bring it back to you. Do things for yourself, Stephen. Fill up your own cup. Be your own best friend. Learn how to be okay with being by yourself, really. Being with your own energy for a little bit. And you'll start to be happy. You won't give a crap if anybody's talking about you. If they were, guess what? It's their problem, not mine. Because when you're happy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people are saying about you because you're happy, right? So these practices help you get to that point. They do. Hi, Haba. I know, Bobby. What does Abraham always say? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So she says, like, she's like, don't try to get people to understand you because people don't even understand themselves. I love that. She always said, don't try to get people to understand you because people don't even understand themselves. We're trying to understand ourselves, right? And that should be your only job, is to feel good in this moment. And like I said, you're only getting a glimpse of people's lives, guys. That's why you can't compare yourself to anyone, right? Like you can see someone on a TikTok in the happiest, most joyous clip, and 1 second later, they could have all been fighting with each other. Like, literally. And I'm not saying that's what's happening. I like TikTok. I like seeing all the positive stuff, and I'm good with that. But you're only getting a glimpse into people's lives. So don't ever compare yourself to anyone because you're 9 times out of 10, you're wrong, right? You're wrong because you're only getting a little glimpse. Oh, I definitely know who Abraham is. I love Abraham. Hi, Shelly. I just seen you on here. TikTok has a lot of good things on there too. I know. I've been watching all the funny TikToks. Like, when you start scrolling through your TikTok and you start watching videos that are funny, more of that picks up, right? It's just like, kind of just like, how this reality works in general, right? So the more that I scroll through funny stuff, I get more funny stuff. So like, make sure you're just watching positive. Don't look at anything that is controversial. I just said that totally bad. Controversial. Anybody that's arguing with anything, like, I've come to the realization that, like, people fight against things too much. Like, you got to just be like, I'm having my own experience, and if you resonate with it, cool. If not, that's cool too. Like, I'm not here to force this on anyone. I'm just sharing what worked for me, what helped me to move towards best and better. It may not work for everybody, and that doesn't hurt my feelings. But even when I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see somebody like saying I never vibed with people that stitched videos. Like they stitch other people's, unless it's funny, unless they're like supporting it and they're making it funny, that's different. But when they're fighting it with people like, well, if you're this and that, and like, it's always like the men and women, masculine, femmes, and I'm always like, I don't vibe with any of that. Like, I would never call someone out, because that's them having their own experience. You either resonate with it or you don't. If you don't, you keep on scrolling. You move right on past that. Plain and simple. No, you haven't. That's so cool. Coach Steve, he said he's been in the hot seat 4 times. You've been to their home? You've been to their home? No. That's super cool. Super, super cool. Wow. In the hot seat 4 times. Why is they say you can manifest anything you want, then say maybe it wasn't meant for you? So you're just listening to too many people. You're listening to too many people, because one person's going to say, oh, you can have whatever you want. And then you might be scrolling through and someone's going to say, oh, that's just different belief systems that you're listening to. What do you believe? I believe that you can have anything you want. You're unlimited. The word unlimited means anything. You can be, do, and have anything you want. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Right? Anybody that says it wasn't meant for you, well, I do believe that there's a best case scenario and there's a best version of things that you want. But I don't believe that, and you're always going to be moving towards best and better, but I don't believe that, like, you get to choose. Only you get to choose, right? So it's just people with their own belief systems that you're listening to, like, what they say. Like, some people will say they don't believe you can manifest certain things, but that's just a belief system. You know what I mean? Unlimited is enough for me. I know I'm unlimited. I know I'm moving towards best case scenario. I'm here to live an amazing life. Like, that's enough for me. I'm supposed to feel good. You know, happiness is my goal, if anything. I just always say to people that my big thing is, like, if it ever feels hard, if you're ever efforting too much, take a step back. You're not in alignment with it yet. That's all. That's all I say when it comes to certain manifestations that you have, like, that you want, is to take a step back if it ever feels hard, or if you're efforting too much. Or it's like, this is just, I don't feel like doing this, or there's no energy behind it as you're doing it. I learned that through my books and writing. That if you're not aligned with it, you're forcing it and there's no passion in it, right? But you take a step back and you allow yourself to align with it, you will. No problem. Maisha, is it Maisha? Some coaches don't believe in manifesting physical changes. You can agree. Exactly, Kennedy, exactly. Some don't believe in certain things, right? I believe that you can be, do, and have anything you want. Your path of least resistance is your path of least resistance, right? Thanks, Nick. I always say one day you're going to see me on here with blue eyes because I'm going to manifest that, but it might be contacts. It might actually just be contacts. But, you know, you're unlimited, and that's enough for me. Exactly, Kennedy. Only you can decide, right? I believe you can have anything you want. You just have to let it come. Exactly. That's what I always say. Just let it unfold naturally, right? That's where making the best of this moment is so powerful. Being able to get yourself back into this moment when you're thinking about your manifestation, because sometimes there's more resistance in a manifestation than there's not. And like I always say, you don't have to be perfect, but you do want to be able to bring yourself back to this moment. Because like I said, even when you do manifest and things start to come in that are more in alignment with you, you're still going to be have to make the best of this moment. It's not like, oh, I got it, now I'm good and life is good now. No, like there's always, this moment's always going to be here. It's always going to be this moment. So just always keep practicing making the best of this moment. I know, right, Bobby? We don't let it sometimes, right? We just like, we get too much in our heads, and we want to have control over everything instead of just allowing things to just pop in. Things can pop in out of anywhere. Like things can just pop up in your life, right? I know. I can't either, Kennedy. I was saying, like, I'm ready for a change, like my hair and stuff. But yeah, like to me, like appearance changes comes with your growth over time. Like as you do these practices, like it's all in your energy, like your confidence, right? Just being more confident, feeling better about yourself because you're more in alignment. So it's more of like that just kind of happens. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Kador? Hi, Nancy. And I know you're always on here. I never know, like, how to say your name. Hey, Kira, have you heard the song Find Your People? I haven't. Nancy, I haven't heard it. I'll have to check it out. I haven't been listening to like any music but like Christmas, and occasionally I'll pop on the radio, but it's always like the same old songs. I Can Buy Myself Flowers. It's that song. And I've been listening to like Christmas music and like sometimes my playlist, but no, like I never know what's new, like any songs or anything like that. I'm not hip with the times. Helwa. And I know you're always here. And I know we had this conversation before. We totally had this conversation before. Helwa. I spiral every day, then go back to living in the end. Is that going? So Joe, like I don't do living in the end. I think that's where I don't resonate with that. What are you doing? What's living in the end? I don't even understand that, because like, I don't live in the end of like, what are you living in the end? I live in the now. That's how I approach manifesting. I don't approach it like you're living in the end of anything. It's just like whatever you want it's done. Like your manifestation, it's done, but you're not living in the end of it. How do you even live in the end of a manifestation? I've never done it that way. And like I said, I live in this moment and make the best of this moment. And I just allow things to unfold in the best way possible for me. So I don't know what you're doing. If you're spiraling and you have negative thoughts popping up and you're not feeling good, you want to practice calmness. You want to practice relaxing. You want to practice non-reaction. Yeah, I don't resonate with any of that. Like, Helwa said the same thing. She doesn't understand. I went down that road a little bit, and I just think it's making it way more complicated, and it's also keeping you in a cycle, right? You want to live in the moment. You want to learn how, like, honestly, your belief systems these fear-based belief systems are not going away until you practice non-reaction. So you can bring these things in, and you can be good for a little bit, but until you break down your fear-based belief systems, you're just keeping yourself in a never-ending cycle. You have to practice non-reaction, right? I'm telling you, there only is this moment, guys. It's all about living in this moment, making the best of this moment. No matter what that may mean for you, it doesn't matter, because it'll just keep getting better. But that's the only practice. I know, Tia. You know what's like I said, I learn more as I go. You know what I've learned as I went, guys? Is when you have a manifestation that feels more dominant, something you really want. I've learned to not think about it. I've trained my mind to bring myself right back to this moment even. Because even if there's slight resistance in it, I don't want to feel it. I don't want to go there. I just want to stay in this moment because my life has unfolded so beautifully with manifestations, things that I even could never even plan for myself by living in this moment now and making the best of this moment now. So when it comes to a manifestation, any technique has only caused more discomfort for me. So I don't resonate with them, any of them, none of them, zero. I resonate with bringing my attention and focus back to now and living in this now. Making, what am I going to do now? I'm going to do a live with you guys and I'm going to be in the moment doing this live with you guys. And when that passes, I'm going to be in that moment. Does that make sense? And there is no end. Like Bobby said, there's literally no end to any of this. There's no end. Actually, you know what's funny, Bobby? I wrote, of course, I'm editing, but I'm always adding a page. I finished up my ebook completely. And I wrote the end. And I said, I don't want to write the end. I want to find something different to say. I want to write, there is no end. And it's so funny Bobby said that. Because as I wrote the end, I'm like, but there is no end. And I almost want to approach this last page differently. By saying, like, the end, but there really is no end or something. Because there isn't. There isn't an end. That's why there's no rush. Just start enjoying this moment, guys. Because there is no end to any of this. There's no rush for any of this either. Just keep making your only practice, making the best of this moment, and practicing non-reaction. It's good to help people with me. Oh, of course, Linda, of course. I mean, yes, like you can be of service to others, but it's one of those things, Linda, that if you feel like, if it's something you don't want to do, you got to put you first. That's important, Linda. Like, yes, it's good to be like help and be of service to others. I'm saying that. But if you ever feel like it's causing resistance within you, I would always calm myself down and relax and say that there's probably a limiting belief behind that. Maybe I am doing too much for others and not putting me first, Linda. So just always go within and see how it feels when you're doing for others. Because I was a people pleaser. I had to release that. I had to release that limiting belief of just overdoing. And I wasn't a good people pleaser. Let me just add that. I was a horrible people pleaser because I complained all the time. I wasn't like, yay, doing for others is great. I have no energy left, but that's okay. No, I was like, oh my God, why did I say yes to that? Why? Why do I always say yes to that? I don't feel like doing that. And I would be like, people take advantage of me. Nobody takes advantage. I'm saying yes. I'm sorry, I missed that. I have heard of EFT, but I don't resonate with EFT. I never resonated with it. How do you deal with the feeling you should always be doing something? This is so hard for me. How do you deal with the feeling you should always be doing something? Well, fun. It's not wrong to be doing something, but are you doing something that you don't want to do? That's where you want to apply these practices. So I always say, fun. Try to find more times to relax, to sit down and do nothing, to meditate, to just get yourself in a cozy blanket and just relax your body, right? And if you're doing things, that's fine. But if you're doing things you don't want to do, there's a limiting belief behind that. You got to get calm. You got to relax your body and stay calm so you can keep moving towards best and better. So manifesting your SP is just relaxing and living in the now. Yes, it's done. It's done. Whatever you want's done, Cynthia. You're just living in this moment and you're making the best of this moment. There only is this moment, Cynthia. Remember that, right? You're not doing anything to manifest it. Did Abraham ever say that one, Bobby? But that is the truth. That is the truth. I'll tell you, I was like, you're right. There is no good in that. There really isn't, right? Have done the SCSP work where I no longer feel the need to do anything. But now things feel stagnant. I know it's mine, but now what? Well, there's a limitation in that. Because if you're truly at peace, you won't even be asking that question. You'd be living in the now. So I don't teach manifesting in the way that you're saying, like doing these self-concept techniques. But if you're at a good place where you feel good right now, if you truly felt good and at peace, you wouldn't even be asking that question, right? So for me, I would be doing more of what feels good for me in this moment. I'd be living in the now more. That would be my answer to your question. live more in this moment, make the best of this moment. You can never go wrong with that practice. If you're ever asking a question like, I feel at peace, but nothing's really happening in my life. Well, make the best of this moment then. Keep making the best. What can I do now? I'm going to go bake some cookies. I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to write a book. Like literally, guys, like whenever anyone says that, like I've done all the work, I feel good, but nothing's happening. Well, do stuff. What feels good to you right now? You can do nothing. You can relax, but find things that fill up your own cup in this moment, right? How can I stay in wish fulfilled going to custody court with my... So I don't know this whole wish fulfilled thing, Tony. I don't resonate with this wish fulfilled. So for me, right off the bat, what you're saying is it's a circumstance that you're making so real in this moment. Okay, Tony? So first know that this is just a limiting belief behind this story. I'm telling you right now, Tony, I'm telling you right now, you have to practice non-reaction. That's what you got to practice to get this to work in your favor. You got to really practice calmness and relaxing your body. It will work out in your favor, but you can't be trying to figure it out. I don't know what your wish fulfilled is. I don't teach that. I teach you to live in this moment. I don't teach you to ignore your circumstances like most people teach you. Because that's what made me come into more alignment with who I am now, was by actually accepting my circumstances and by using them to my advantage and by relaxing in those circumstances, by staying calm in those circumstances, by practicing keeping my problems to myself with those circumstances. That's how my circumstances worked out for me and worked in my favor. So I don't tell people to ignore your 3D. I don't tell people to ignore your circumstances. I say accept them. Accept them for what they are and use them to your advantage now, to practice non-reaction, to practice calmness, to watch them work in your favor in front of you. So I don't teach manifestation the same way as other people. Mine's different. It's completely backwards from what people... How do you ignore a circumstance? You're in a custody battle. You have all these things popping up. How do you ignore that? Please tell me, because I couldn't. So you got to use it to your advantage. You got to get calm, quiet, stop speaking about your problems. You got to do these practices. You got to watch this story that's so dominant in your reality work in your favor, because it will. It will. Exactly, Bobby. Exactly. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. It was causing me too much resistance. Bobby said, answer to every question, relax and practice non-reaction. Now what's for dinner? And I was like, that was causing me resistance this morning. I'm like, I don't know what's for dinner. I don't want to think about what's for dinner. So I was like, let's just go out and let's get your refresher and do your live, and then we'll get to dinner. You know what made me change my mind? I was going to go out to the food store. What made me change my mind is that it's Saturday. It's Saturday. And I'm like, listen, I'm not a weekend person because everything's packed. Everybody's out and about. And I ain't about that. So it might be a fast food Saturday. Well, sometimes Saturday night, if you go later, it's not as bad because people are doing their weekend fun stuff. So I can get out to the store later and it'll be kind of quiet. So maybe I'll go out later. Yes, Coach Steve said it. Coach Steve said it. He said, wish fulfilled is about feeling very clearly that you already have. Yeah, it's already done. That's how I say it. I just say it's done. What I want is done. That's it. And no more. No more than that. I don't get into any details. Hey, Nathan! Hi, Ashley! Hi, Brenda! But I am getting hungry. What should I eat tonight? Once I start, like, thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, this, and I'm like, no, I don't, like, it's like, I don't know, it's overwhelming, because I have 3 kids, some of them don't eat certain things, I know, they're teenagers, but it causes me resistance sometimes. You can't, yeah, Chick-fil-A, Can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A. I had McDonald's last night. It was kind of late, but I had McDonald's, so I don't want McDonald's again. Pot, you can't go wrong with pot. My daughter actually said that, Marta. I was saying to her, I was like, what can we do for dinner? And she started laughing. She's like, spaghetti, because like that's our regular in our house. Spaghetti, tacos, and chicken, which I do a lot with chicken though. You know what's so funny? Is mashed potatoes not common, guys? So I watched this girl on TikTok, and I love her. I love her. And she made mashed potatoes for the first time. She's like, oh, my friend told me about this mashed potato recipe, and I never made mashed potatoes before. So I'm going to go get potatoes. And I'm like, girl, like, I grew up on mashed potatoes. I think I had them almost every meal sometimes. And it was so funny to think that this grown woman has never had mashed potatoes. Like, she's got a family, right? And I'm like, I started laughing, but I guess, like, there's certain things I haven't had either, right? But, like, I literally grew up on mashed potatoes. And she's like, I never made them before. I don't know how to make them. And, like, I was watching her making them, and I'm just like, it's so funny. Like, some people haven't had mashed potatoes before. Me too, Helwa. Let me tell you, mashed potatoes were always my favorite thing growing up. And my one son does not like them. And I always was like, how do you not like... I always thought it was so weird that he just doesn't like mashed potatoes. How do you accept the circumstance, but also live as if you have what you desire? So you're... Okay, so accepting the circumstance means that I'm going to make the best of it in this moment, and I'm going to use it to my advantage, right? By practicing non-reaction, so I can release the limiting belief behind it. That's what it means to accept it, because you have to accept it, because it's right there. How do you, like, it's literally in front of you. It's literally happening in that moment, right? So you're just going to apply the practices in that moment. But I don't live as if I have the desire. I don't even do that. Guys, I don't do it like that. I know it's so weird because you're so used to hearing the way that people talk about manifesting, the way you have to live in the desire. You have to act as if you have it. You have to be in the end of it. I don't do that. I don't. I just know it's done, and I know it's going to unfold, and I don't got to worry about that part. I just don't worry about that part in any way, shape, or form. I just know that what I want's done, and that's enough for me. That's enough for me. I'm more focused on this moment and making the best of where I'm at in my life now, right? Because I created this as well, right? But I never had a problem manifesting and bringing things in. You just have to know that it's done. It's going to show up in the best way possible. And your limited mind can never live in the end the best way your higher self is, right? So, like I said, my personal job is to just be making the best of this moment, because I created everything up until this point. So whatever's happening in my reality, good or bad, if it doesn't feel good, I'm just staying calm. That's it. Literally. But it takes practice to get to that point where you can actually be calm in those situations and just soften your body and know that you're going to be moved out of it to best and better. It's not really your job to figure it out, but you will. Right? And that's it. That's it. I know it's weird because everyone's so used to like acting as if, affirming, persisting. And I don't live my life like that. I find that to be very limiting and not a happy life. I don't find that happy. But that's just me. That's just me. I know that what I want's done, and I'm more about living in this moment and how can I make the best of this moment. And that's it. That's it. Literally. I like the simple way to do things. Anything else to me makes it more complicated. It makes me feel like I have to figure things out too much. I'm too much in my mind. I'm too much in my head. I don't like the feeling of the discomfort of feeling like something I want isn't here yet. I don't like that feeling. I'm okay with where I'm at. I want to be okay with where I'm at and know that everything's going to come into my life in the right timing. And I don't got to force it. I don't got to force things to come in. I don't got to chase something down. I don't got to persist in anything. I don't like that feeling. I like to feel whole in this moment and know that I can feel good no matter what's happening around me, no matter what's happening around me in this moment, right? And again, if there's something that's happening that doesn't feel good to me, I just relax my body and stay calm, and I don't speak about it to anyone, and I just let it pass by and know that I'm moving towards, and guess what? It's gone, I'm good, and now I'm moving towards best and better. That's it. That's how I live my life. I like the way you think. Yeah, I just like Maisha. I can't. And I never resonated with the way people are explaining how to manifest and all that. It's just like they're adding steps to things, right? It's like adding more resistance to things. It's more cycles. It's more limitations. You've always been manifesting your whole life. You can't not. That's what you're here to do. You're here to have an experience. Plain and simple. Now, guess what? You have one thing that you know now, that you're unlimited, that you can be, do, and have anything you want, that you're here to live an amazing life. That's the only difference from before. You created everything up until this point. You will keep creating everything up until the future points, right? There only is this moment, and I'm all about making the best of this moment. And how can I make the best of this moment? And when I can't, I get calm, I relax, and I know that I can't make a mistake. I know that I don't got to figure anything out. I know that now. I know that I've been over these things over and over and over again. And that's how I've created everything up until this point. My ebooks, my audios, all those things was because of these practices. My TikToks. I'm in alignment with things that why can't I say that right? I'm in alignment with things that are best for me, right? I'm doing things that are more in alignment with me. That's how I mean to say it. I'm doing things that are more in alignment with me. I get to choose. And if there's anything that doesn't serve me anymore, I know I created that as well. But I'm growing out of it. And I just got to get calm and relax and know that I will be moved to best case scenario. That's it. I love the practice of knowing I don't got to ever do anything. I like that practice. I like knowing that I don't have to do anything. That works for me. I just got to get calm and let it work itself out. I like the practice of getting better at staying calm in those situations, staying soft in those, making the best of it, even though it doesn't serve me anymore. I like that practice. That works for me. How can I manifest being a famous singer? Well, you just have to know it's done, Neva. It's done. But again, it's just what I said, Neva. Make the best of this moment. Live in this moment. You know now that you can be, do, and have anything you want, Neva. You know that reality exists for you. That's a good manifestation. That's a really good one. That's a good desire. I'm sure you probably planned that before you got here. There's nothing you need to do. You make the best of this moment now. You make the best of this moment now, and you practice non-reaction. I promise you it will unfold in the best way possible. I remember hearing something like that, Kennedy. I just kind of watched something like that, like a little bit of that. I caught a glimpse of that, Kenny. That's so funny. And you know, I don't watch a lot of stuff, but I remember seeing that. He manifested his wife, yeah, and like him telling the story or something, and he's like, I said something. It's kind of like, remember Jim Carrey? I love his story too. Like he would drive by Rodeo Drive. Is that where it was? I don't know if I'm making that up. Or wherever he would drive by, and he would say, or he wrote himself a check or something, like stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, and Marilyn Monroe, how about her? I just watched a clip on her talk about how she manifested and created that walk, that feminine walk, right? I just watched that. That was so cool. So, user, I don't script anymore, but I did at one point because that's where I was, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed scripting because that's where I was, but I don't do it anymore. So here's the thing, guys. If you're practicing if you're practicing non-reaction and making the best of this moment, you will move out of those things. Scripting, affirmations, techniques, you'll move out of them. So my biggest thing is just continue practicing what non-reaction and making the best of this moment, relaxing and doing my practices. If you're enjoying scripting, do it. Don't not do something because I say I don't do it, right? That's just where I'm at. That it doesn't resonate with me anymore. But I did, and I enjoyed it. Something happened and I get triggered. So this is where I feel like you're too fixated on a manifestation. You got to bring your attention back to this moment and just make the best of this moment. And no, nothing can take away your desire. Nothing can take away your desire. Your desire is just yours. The reason, okay, here's the thing, guys. Nothing is separate from you. Your desire is not separate from you. It's not separate from you. You are separate from you. You are separate from you. That's why you're feeling that. That's what reaction, it makes you feel separate. That's why you only need to practice non-reaction. Once you feel whole within yourself, guys, that's when things start to manifest. All these desires that you want. But when you're saying, oh, I might not be able to get my desire, you're thinking that your desire is separate from you, and it's not. Nothing is separate from any of us, right? The only reason why we think that anything is separate from us is because we're so reactive. We're separate from us, right? That connection, that feeling of being whole. That's again why I say you don't have to do anything to manifest. This is a lot of this is in my new ebook as well, and in my most recent audio, which I'm going to release that soon because I have so much good stuff in this recent audio. It's a lot about understanding this stuff, guys, and knowing that there's nothing you're detaching from. When people talk about the word detachment, there's no such thing. There is nothing to detach from. Nothing is separate from you. Nothing is separate from any of us. You can't detach from anything. You can only say that I don't want to experience it anymore. I know it's a deep understanding of how this stuff works, but it's really not that deep. It's just knowing that nothing is separate from you. You literally can't detach from anything. You can only say, I don't want to experience that anymore, right? So just having the desire is enough. That desire belongs to you. The only way it won't manifest into your life is if you say, I don't want to desire this anymore. And that's it. And that's why you don't have to do anything to manifest it. Do you get what I'm saying? This is really powerful. And it will release a lot of resistance if this clicks for you, right? The only way you can't experience your manifestation is if you say, I don't want to experience it anymore. Your only job in this point is to start to feel whole on your own. That's what's going to bring it in. Feel complete on your own. Feel fulfilled on your own. And you don't have to be perfect because you're never going to be perfect. We're always going to be expanding. But you got to get yourself to in a place where you are feeling good on your own. You're able to fill up your own cup in each moment. You can shift the energy and find peace in this moment. Find happiness in this moment. That's the only practice. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? I lost myself there. Yeah, so keep practicing relaxing, guys. But here we go, and I'm just going to call you out to help you. Jen, now you're finding a friend and you're saying, I have triggers, flashbacks from CPTSD. Some of her stuff is good, except with PTSD. You're making a story to light. You're finding a friend to talk to about it. You're keeping it active. That's reaction. So you're finding someone, you're tagging them, and you're telling them your story. And now they're going to go back and say, oh, I have PTSD too. Oh, let's talk about it. That's what you don't want to do. You do not want to talk about your problems. You want to keep your problems to yourself. That is number one in moving towards your best life. Keep your problems to yourself, or you keep your problems around. You'll be keeping your problems around. And I'm just offering this out of a place to help you understand that we need reminders not to speak about our problems. I see it from time to time in here where someone says something that, oh, I have the same issue too. My person blocked me too. Oh, let's have a friendship and talk about how our people blocked us and how horrible they are. And then we start going down that rabbit hole, and you're just keeping that alive in your reality, right? So you really want to catch those moments, guys. How do you feel about robotic affirmations? Absolutely not. Because they're exactly what you said. They're robotic affirmations. I am healthy. I am worthy. I am amazing. I don't resonate with any of those types of affirmations. None of them. Why are you telling yourself you're worthy? You're already worthy. It's contradicting. You were born worthy. You're deprogramming yourself from believing you're not worthy. You don't have to convince yourself that you're worthy. You're already worthy. What's telling you you're not worthy is all the programs you picked up over time. You got to break down the programs. You got to break down the limitations. You got to break down the fear-based belief systems. You can't program over a program. You got to break down it'll work for a little bit. It's very temporary. You can convince yourself that you're confident, cool, awesome, amazing by persisting. But I'm telling you right now, you're going to be triggered again. You got to practice non-reaction. You got to break down these fear-based belief systems. It's all surface level manifesting. That's what people are teaching. It's surface level. And I'm not saying they're wrong. That's where they are at in understanding this. You got to be open-minded. You got to go within to say there's got to be easier ways. There's got to be better ways. And you got to be open-minded to it. Or else people are going to keep teaching the same way, and people are going to keep resonating with the same techniques. Got to break down these belief systems, guys. Got to break down these programs. No, this is your own personal experience, Marta. Unless you think it. That's how powerful you are, Marta. That if you think someone can manifest in your reality, yes, because it's only you having your own experience with your belief systems. So if you pick up a belief system over time, Marta, that somebody can manifest in your reality, that's what's going to happen, right? But that's why you don't really want to get into like too much of that. Be careful what you're entertaining. Be careful what you're entertaining. Go back within and say, you know what? I'm just going to keep practicing non-reaction and making the best of this moment. Because I can promise you, if you're out there searching and you're out there trying to educate yourself with this stuff, you're probably picking up more fear-based belief systems and more limiting ways to do this. This is easy. This is easy, guys. It's all about this moment and making the best of where you're at and practicing non-reaction. Time and time and time and time and time again, it will always be that. There only is this moment. There will only ever be this moment. You're always going to be growing and expanding because you can't stop that. Always. But what are you changing? What are things changing to? The same or better and best? Do you believe that we are operant power of our reality like we choose? Yes, you are the operant power. You get to choose. You get to choose, but you don't want to even go there because because that's more of old ways. That's trying to control things. Right? Things will work themselves out, butterfly. The more that you make it about you and only you and you feeling good no matter what's happening around you, the rest of those things will take care of themselves. But when you start saying, I don't want this and I don't want them, and now you're trying to control again. You're needing things to be a certain way for you to feel good. But you got to work with what you got because you created it. Work with what you got. Make the best of where you're at. Stay calm when you can't. That's non-reaction. Stay relaxed. Stay quiet. Everything else will work itself out in the best way possible. How do I break down the programs? Non-reaction. You got to relax. Number one, when something shows up that doesn't feel good, a circumstance, person, place, or thing, you got to stay quiet. You got to keep your problems to yourself. That's number one. Number one is keep your problems to yourself. Number two is you got to practice relaxing your body. You got to find something that works for you in that moment to relax your body. And you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent with practicing non-reaction, guys. It doesn't happen overnight. We're very reactive as humans. So you got to find practice. I have tons of practices on here. I have audios with practices. It's very easy when you start doing it and you realize how easy it is. But you'll find things, again, that work for you. Check out some of my old lives. Check out some of my old lives that are on YouTube. I have a lot of good stuff on there as well. And watch my videos on here. I have tons of stuff. Watch them over and over again. What do you think about free will manifesting SP? So it's the free will. This exhausts me again because everybody's so focused on these people and outside of you and who has free will and who doesn't have free will when you're not doing the only thing, which is feeling good on your own. You gotta stop worrying about all these things out. Thanks, Cord, outside of you. Who has free will? Who can't hurt me? Who can hurt? Nobody can. Nobody has free will. But you got to do these practices for a little bit. You have to do these to even see that nobody has free will in your reality. Because right off the bat, you're making it about this other person, other people. Can this happen? Can that happen? You got to focus on you. You got to learn how to feel good on your own. You got to do these practice for a little bit to realize, no, nobody does. But you're always giving your free will away because you're so reactive. You're so reactive. So you got to practice non-reaction before you can even get to the point of understanding what free will truly is and what free will truly means. So we can bring people back, essentially. Bring people back as into your life, someone that left your life. Yes. If you're going to say like somebody that passed away, I don't get into that because there's a lot of resistance in that. Anything's possible. You're unlimited. But if you're saying bring somebody back like a friendship, of course you can. Of course you can. But focus more on yourself, feeling good on your own. And again, being your own source of happiness. And someone, friendship, anything, they can come back into your life, of course. And a lot of times, a lot of people do come back into your life, right? We always know how the movie ends because exactly, Kennedy, right? It's like that's what starts to happen, guys. You become the observer of this. You're like kind of just watching your life unfold. It's a more natural approach, right? It's just unfolding. It's getting better. It's exciting. It's fun, right? How do I separate my desires from moving towards... How do I separate my desires? Well, you're not separate from your desire, Dylan. You're not separate from it, right? That's the thing. Like, people always say, like, you're not, your desire it's a part of you. Everything's a part of you. You're just choosing something different for yourself in this moment. That's all. But it's only about this moment. So you just got to practice relaxing and non-reaction to release any limitations that you have in this moment, right? So it's mostly just about making the best of this moment. It's so simple. It's so simple, Dylan. It's about making the best of this moment, whatever that may mean for you, because you can't make a mistake. You can't make a wrong decision. Whatever that may mean for you. And when you can't, Dylan, you just get calm. But it's always about this moment, guys. It's always, I can't stress this enough to you guys. It's always about this moment. There only is this moment, right? When we start thinking about our manifestations, like I can't even tell you how things manifested into my life so effortlessly and in this moment by making it about this moment. It's always about this moment. What about an unfit... Hi, Claudia! Situation. We stay calm and let it... Yes. How doesn't that... No, Claudia, not at all. Because guess why? I'm going to tell you why, Claudia. So Claudia says, what about an unfavorable situation? We stay calm and let it solve itself? Yes. You know why? Because your limited mind could never think of a best case scenario. If you stay calm, Claudia, you're gonna move to best case scenario. Sometimes, Claudia, it disappears completely and nothing ever even had to come of it. But for the most part, with a lot of these things, they just keep getting better and better. But you don't got to figure it out. And there's so much freedom in knowing that honestly, you limit yourself when you try to figure it out. Sometimes we dig ourselves in another hole and we create another limiting belief when we're trying to figure it out. So just free yourself from ever thinking, guys, that you ever have to figure anything out ever again. And remind yourself that over and over again. You're just getting calm and quiet in that moment and let me tell you, you're going to get so good at staying calm in situations. That's all your power. That's all your power in that moment. Life will start to become more fun. Trust me. Trust me. Of course, Claudia. Like, I had so many manifestations that I set an intention for, guys. And I'm talking about probably more recently, right? When I would start doing it. And I'm like, why is this so hard? I'm actually getting a headache from it. I'm like, you know what? That's because it's not time. I know better. I had to remind myself. So I said, take a step back. And it's just starting to unfold now. And I did nothing. I sat there, I clicked something, and it's unfolding. You got to take a step back. You're not in alignment with it yet. That's all. It's not bad. It's going to come in, but you got to take a step back if you're ever efforting. Make that a practice in your life and watch how it'll show up again and it'll be effortless. Practice that. Watch it. I'm telling you, that's the thing. You're not doing anything at all to manifest. I didn't affirm for it. I didn't do nothing. I actually took my attention away from it completely. And now I click the button and it's unfolding. I'm not kidding. I'm literally not kidding, guys. I'm not making this up. This is how powerful you are. You want to practice non-reaction. You want to make it about this moment only. Stop efforting. Stop making this hard. And you'll, like I said, calmness and relaxing will help you see that it's not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. We're not used to that though, right? We're used to struggle. We're used to trying to figure it out. And all right, I got to put some effort, right? I mean, there's got to be some effort involved. Not if you, that's a belief. That's a belief. If you think there should be, then sure, you can. If you like that life, if you like trying to figure things out and you're that type of person, go for it. I don't. I am a lazy manifester, 100%. I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. Like literally, I'm not kidding. I just want to have fun. I want it to be fun. I want to laugh. I want this to be light and carefree. That's what I want my life to be. But some people love figuring things out and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't resonate with that. I just want to wake up and can't wait to start my day. And what am I going to do today? And if it ever feels heavy, if there's ever resistance in it, I'm not doing it. I'm getting McDonald's. If cooking causes anxiety within me, McDonald's is where I'm going. Like literally, like I'm telling you, that's how I live my life. So it's a choice. It's a choice because you're having your own experience with your own belief systems. If something doesn't work for me, I know that there's a better way. I know that I'm not in alignment with it, right? It's not saying you can't have whatever you want. It's just saying that you're not in alignment with it yet. That's all. It's not only a belief, it's detrimental to your... Yes, exactly, Bobby, exactly. But you got to watch these things work in your life, right? You got to experience it yourself because I can tell you that it worked for me. Like, I feel like I'm sounding like Abraham. I can tell you, or maybe I just said this a lot. I can tell you that it worked for me, but until you experience it yourself, you're going to be stuck on that this doesn't work for me, right? Because everything's literally a belief system that you have. So like I said, for me, it's all about feeling. If something feels efforting, I'm like, no, it's not time yet. If I'm ever thinking about a manifestation and it's causing resistance within me, I'm like, no, I'm not in alignment with it. That's why. And it's okay. It's okay because I don't want it to come before I'm ready. I don't want anything to come before I'm ready. I don't want to go through that again, that discomfort and being triggered and feeling like, I don't know, having any limitations behind it. I don't want that. I want it to flow. I want it to be easy. Life should be easy. Life should be fun. Life should be exciting. Life should flow. And if anything ever feels off, I go back to my practice. I get quiet. I get calm. I let that work itself out in whatever way it has to. And that's it. And that's how I live my life. I think I'm just repeating myself a lot. Yes, I was going to try to do web dev again, but I just said I don't want to do this out loud. Yeah! There you go. Hi, Narina! Right, Nathan, that's it. Just keep relaxing. Just keep relaxing. I'm thinking about, since I'm editing, I'm thinking about my book because I wrote a lot about appreciation in there, something I learned more recently, thanks to Bobby, and I dove deeper into it. And really understanding that, we are not in the present moment enough. Something like drinking your cup of tea or the warm shower, and we're so thinking about other things instead of just being in that moment. So they're such powerful practices to be in the present moment, right? When you're in the shower, when you're drinking your cup of coffee or drinking your tea, or when you're just hanging out with friends and you're just in the moment, you're laughing together. When my kids are talking to me and I'm just sitting back and just listening to them, literally just listening to them, and being in that moment with them, and just cleaning my house, being in the moment. Literally, I'm cleaning my house, but I'm in the moment, right? And not so much thinking about all these other things that I have to do or should do, right? And that's a practice, but it gets easier when you do things when you notice it in things that you like drinking my cup of tea, when I'm in a warm blanket, and one thing will lead to the next. That's how you practice being in the present moment, by practicing that feeling of appreciation in those moments, right? I talked about my new bio. What's my new bio, Nathan? Where's that at? Isn't that... Did I change it? I might have. I don't even know. So true. It all comes back to relaxing. I can tell you right now, it all comes back to relaxing, No matter what, it always comes back to settling yourself down. Always, always, always. Yeah, making the best of this moment, but sometimes that means relaxing first, right? If you're ever in your head too much, or you're feeling overwhelmed, it's always going to come back to settling yourself down, and then you'll be led to that. You'll be led to the next best thing, because you need to settle yourself down to remind yourself that, wait, it's all good. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. There's nothing I need to figure out. So it always leads back to relaxing, because you need to be able to settle yourself down to remind yourself that there's nothing serious going on here. So that's why I always say it's always going to lead back to relaxing. Yes, you're making the best of this moment and all of that, but sometimes, like I said, you got to first relax. You got to relax first to remind yourself, all's good. Nothing serious going on here. Nothing serious going on here. Like, even for me, guys, if I ever feel resistance towards doing a live, I won't do it, because I know when I do it, when I feel off, I'm off the whole time. Like, you guys don't see it. This isn't me off, but like, even if I'm slightly, I'm just like, you know what, I should have listened. I didn't want to do it tonight, right? Or say, like, I start editing, but I'm like, I really don't feel like it right now. I feel that effort behind it. I feel it. And I know why? You don't have to do it right now. There's nothing you have to do, right? It's all, you know, it's going to get done. So that's why we say, like, listen to that. Like, don't force yourself. Always take a step back. Take a step back. Everything's working for you. Right, Bobby? Yes. It's almost like overwhelming at times. And I love the fact, my favorite thing that I learned is the grateful versus appreciation. How being grateful there's lack in it. That's why I love Abraham. I don't think there's, you know, like I said, Abraham's my number one teacher. There's nobody that's better than Abraham to me. I don't know, like, maybe I'm being a brat, but I just think she's the best, because I love that. She's straight up. She's like, there's lack in being grateful. There's actually lack in being grateful. But appreciation is so much easier to achieve. Does she say that? Doesn't she say that? Because it's true. Appreciation is easy to achieve. Hi, Divine. Hi, Leah. I'm just going to say, Sally, be careful what you're saying. Be careful right? Be careful your conversations, guys. Yes, appreciation is so light, and it feels so good. Like, it feels so good. You don't have to, Sally. You're unlimited, Sally. You're unlimited. Focus more on yourself, feeling good on your own, filling up your own cup. You got to remind yourself that you're unlimited. If you're not liking the apps, and you're not liking dating, or you're not liking any of that, you're not in alignment. Take a step back. Take a step back. Focus on yourself more, feeling good on you. Trust me, there's no time here. Don't worry about time, guys. Things will come to you. Just keep focusing on yourself and feeling good on your own. Appreciation is so like, yes, it is. It's everything. Appreciation is everything. I can always kill a little cure to I love that, Tim. Yes, it's so true, Nathan. You start to trust them more. So here's the funny thing about trusting your instincts. Like, I feel like I'm being guided. I hear my guidance more. I've always been intuitive, but I was also in my program. So I was intuitive, but I had limiting beliefs and stuff, fear-based belief systems like everyone else. But now I get the guidance, and it's almost like telling me to start doing things that I normally wouldn't do, right? And it's not hard things, right? But like, it's leading me to more and better, but it's my guidance system, and I feel it, I hear it, right? And I noticed the growth in my life from actually here. So now I'm more clear though to hear that guidance, right? To maybe do this now. Take the steps to do this now, and I'm more in alignment with it because I'm more in alignment with it, right? Does that make sense? So I can't explain it because it's personal, but it's weird. Like, you do start to hear that guidance leading you in the right direction to maybe doing things that back then you would have been like, I ain't doing, no way. But you're more clear-minded, you're more at peace, and you know it, you trust it now. You trust where it's moving you. It's almost like having your best friend, like a friend that's like saying, all right, girl, now we're gonna do this now, right? This is gonna help you. This is gonna serve you. And I'm talking just now, I'm starting to hear this, guys. So don't even think like my whole life. I've been talking about this stuff for 3 years. I'm just now, because I'm more in alignment now, right? I'm more doing things that I want to do. I'm manifesting my manifestations and all that. I'm more in alignment. So it took me time to get to a point where I'm clear-minded like this, right? So don't think like, I don't know, how do you hear don't try to hear it. It'll just happen. But it's more of a positive thing. It's moving you in the right direction towards best and better. But there are no mistakes, what you're saying here. What you're saying is a limiting belief, Bella. You said, listen to you makes me realize the mistakes I've made. You can't make any mistakes. There's nothing that hasn't, from my, everything that has unfolded to this point, it all happened for me. Every bit of it. There's no mistakes. There's 100%, there's no mistakes. Everything is helping you become more clear. It's all guidance. You can't make a mistake. There are no mistakes. And you'll start to see that the more you do these practices. You'll be like, she's right. There's literally no mistakes. Everything made me who I am today. Oh my God. How I do it all the time. She said, I started talking to myself out loud in the car about what I want to do next. Yeah, it's like you're talking. Do you feel like, I feel like I'm talking, I know, I don't care. People think I'm crazy, but I'm like, all right, guys, what are we going to do next? I don't know who guys are. I don't know who they are. I don't know where it came from, but that I literally say that sometimes. I'm like, all right, guys, what are we going to do next? I'm like, who that? Maybe it's because I'm with my dogs all the time and I talk to them like that. But I'm just like, girl, you're in the store. Like, you're talking, like, I'm always talking out loud. I always have headphones in. Well, a lot of times I have headphones in, so I know I'm loud. People are just like, this girl. And I'm in my own world. I don't focus on anything around me. People, that's why I can shop in like Walmart and stuff. It don't bother me because I'm in my own bubble. Nobody bothers me. I don't look at other people. I don't focus on other people. I'm shopping. I'm enjoying my shopping experience, and that's it. But if you made a lot of mistakes in the past, do they count now? No, all that matters is this moment, Linda. None of that matters. If anything's showing, if you're feeling bad about anything in this moment from your past, it's a limitation in this moment. It's not about the past. That's just, again, they're just stories over time. Anything in this, there only is this moment, Linda. So if something pops up that doesn't feel good in this moment, there only is this moment. So you're just relaxing and getting calm in this moment to release that limitation. That's it. That's all. I know, Bella. I know. It's all those little reminders, guys. It's all those little reminders. I'm telling you. That you need to just remind yourself. No mistakes. There's nothing I need to figure out, right? I can't make a mistake because there are no mistakes. And I'm telling you, I mean that. I'm not just saying that. There's literally no mistakes. I like to add when you're practicing non-reaction. And because otherwise you keep repeating. That's why I say that, right? I say there's no mistakes when you're practicing non-reaction because otherwise you keep repeating. You're reactive. Reactive is repeating patterns, right? So when you're practicing non-reaction, there's no mistakes. You just get better at non-reaction. And knowing that you don't have to figure anything out is another one. That's something you want to remind yourself over and over again. How you deal with someone who triggers you or makes you upset at work. So use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. Emma, I'm going to call you Emma. You said, how do you deal with someone who triggers you or makes you upset at work? Use it to your advantage by really practicing calmness. Make sure you're not speaking to people at work about that person, or you keep it active, right? So it goes back to keeping your problems to yourself, right? And practice calmness, practice staying quiet in those moments. Use it. Remember, it's just helping you release a limitation within you. And just know that, remind yourself this, because this helped me a lot. Just know that, Emma, not everybody knows this information. Not everybody chooses to move towards best and better. I know that sounds like you're kind of judging people in a way, but the more that you feel better on your own, Emma, that person is not going to treat you the same. And you're actually going to become an example in that person's life by staying positive, by staying kind, by staying calm in those moments, right? And you release the limitation that anybody could ever hurt or affect you in your reality. So you're going to release that limitation. So just have compassion for others, Emma, that don't know this information yet. And now you get to be the example by staying calm, by staying kind still. It's almost like when they're being mean to you, you're even if you're faking it at first, you're not even realizing they're doing it. It's unbothered energy. It's like it goes right over your head, but it actually starts to be that way. It's like, and then they don't do it anymore. They don't do it anymore because you release that limitation from your life. So practice calmness. That would be key in it. Just get very calm when you feel like somebody's upsetting you. Relax your body. Remind yourself, nobody can hurt me in my reality. Get calm. Say, I know not everybody gets this. Not everybody understands this information. I'm choosing to stay calm to release this limitation. Knowing that not everybody knows this information, but I'm choosing best for myself. Anything else is reacting. So when people, like, you can respond to somebody, Emma. If you can respond in a kind, calm way. But again, it can't go back and forth because then you keep it active. So when people say, like, but I'm a doormat, I'm not standing up for myself, it's an understanding of how this reality works again. Because when you're defending yourself, you're just saying to the universe that you're going to have experiences in your life that show you have to defend yourself. So even if you defend yourself with one person, you're going to find someone else that shows you have to defend yourself as well, because that's how this reality works. That's why I always talk about you don't have to set boundaries. Because if you feel the need to set boundaries everywhere you go, the universe is going to show you experiences where you constantly have to set boundaries. So when you can stay calm and quiet around the fact that you would ever think that you have to defend yourself or set a boundary, you will release that limitation from your life and you will not be shown those types of experiences. So use this person to your advantage to stay calm and quiet so you don't have to experience that in your reality anymore. Does that make sense? I know that was a mouthful. That was a mouthful. A lot of people get tricked. Not a lot anymore. More people don't. They don't come and say, you're teaching people to be a doormat because I'm more confident in this, because that's my life. I don't experience that in my reality, right? The more people are resonating with it and they get it. This reality is just a mirror reflecting back to you, your limitations. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, if you want to live your life defending yourself and you're choosing that to set boundaries, that's up to you. You can have that belief within you that I like to set boundaries. I like to speak up for myself. That's your choice. But I'm just helping people live a drama-free life. I don't want to have to set boundaries. I don't want to have to defend myself everywhere I go. I just want to live my life. Like I said, I just want to have fun, and I want to live a peaceful, fun, carefree life. So I like the fact that I release that limitation that I ever have to set boundaries. I ever have to explain myself to anyone. I ever have to, defend myself in any way, shape, or form. I've released that. I've done it. I've done it already. It so is, Alyssa. It so is. Alyssa Jet. I don't want to call you, is that your last name, Jet? But yes, it's all non-reaction, because relaxing will help you see that. Practicing non-reaction will help you see your limitations and what you choose to keep living and what you choose not to. You get to choose. You get to choose for you. I get to choose for me, right? I'm just telling you what's going to help you move towards best and better. Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I just got that, Bobby. I just got that from someone recently. you're teaching people to be a doormat. And I'm like, so I always give one response back, and I never heard from that person again. So, and it's very rare that I even get people saying that to me anymore and bringing up those types of things. But when I do, I do give one response back, because I know what I know. I know how this reality works, right? And I'm here to maybe open their mind a little bit more. And, you know, a lot of times they get it. They'll say like, oh, I see what you're saying. And sometimes I just never see them again. But that's okay, because you get to choose what you want to experience in your reality. Plain and simple. All right, so Alyssa, I've been talking about this a lot of this live. I will post this live on YouTube. Right away, you're speaking about your problem. So that's number one, Alyssa. You want to make it a habit not to speak about this circumstance at all to anyone. Not here, not your friends, not your family. You're speaking about it. You're bringing it to life. That's reaction in itself when we speak about our problems. So Alyssa, you want to keep that to yourself. You want to internalize it. That's not staying calm. You're saying, I've been calm, I've been non-reactionary, but you're doing the opposite of what calm and non-reactionary is. Speaking about it is number one to being non-reactionary. It's, you got to keep your problems to yourself and soften that. I know it doesn't feel good. That's the point. But when you make this story so real and you speak about it, you just keep it active in your reality, okay? I know it's a practice. You got to practice it, and you got to be consistent. What you teach is the complete opposite of me. I know, Bobby. I know. Yeah, someone recently came to me and said that. But I get it. I get where people are. And I get that's where people are in understanding this. And she follows another coach. And she tagged the other coach as well. It didn't bother me, though. Because I like that it's bringing awareness to people. This stuff's, it's making people more aware. Even people that are teaching this. That it's basically you just having your own experience with your limitations. And you get to choose what you want to, if you want to move out of that limitation for yourself, right? I'm just teaching you how to do it. I'm just teaching you the best way to do it, right? That's all I'm here for. Otherwise, you can say, no, I don't resonate with her, and I don't care. But what if you have to speak about it? So, for example, at the dentist, you have to tell them, I saw that Kira and the other coach actually agree. She did, Dream. The other coach agreed with me. I know. Yeah, that's how much you see in my stuff. Like, I don't get many people that disagree. I don't, because I feel like I don't experience much of that in my reality, right? I really don't. But what if you have to speak about it? So, for example, if the dentist, to tell them the problem. Well, that's fine. If you're at the dentist and you're like, I won't even go there. I'm going to tell you the truth. If I ever have anything, I just get calm and I move out of even that. Like, I don't go to dentists or anything like that. Doctors or any of that. But if you're going to the dentist to get something, like what? You get like having pain in my tooth, then go. There's nothing wrong with that. They're going to fix it for you. That is your solution. Going to the dentist probably is your path of least resistance, right? Do you get it? So like, if you're at a place where you have a pain and you're going to the dentist, that's you in solution mode. You're going to the dentist to resolve your problem. I really struggle with not addressing things I don't like with my partner. I really struggle addressing things. So I would say don't act on any of that. I would say, Helwa, focus more on you. That would be my answer. Focus more on you, Helwa, and bring your attention back to you and feeling good on your own and not needing them to change. And stay calm when you don't resonate with something they're doing or how they're behaving. Stay calm. Stay calm and bring that attention and focus back to you, filling up your own cup, feeling good on your own. Use that to your advantage in that way. Not by addressing anything right away. It might lead to something like that, but right now I would say to focus on, especially if you're feeling resistance, definitely don't do it, because it's mostly going to be reactive. I would say time for me to focus on me more, feel good on my own, fill up my own cup, And the biggest thing about all this is letting people be who they are, not trying to change people. You can feel good no matter how anyone is behaving. That's the practice. I can still feel good no matter how anything or anyone is behaving. I guess you could use that word. Any circumstances outside of me, I can still feel good. That's what this is going to lead you to. So use it to your advantage, Hawa. Exactly, Alyssa. Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Exactly, Nathan. I get that way. Aw. Is reacting trying to warn someone about his or her partner? April, that is so you get involved in other people's lives. And yes, that's reacting. Stay out of that. Why would you even know that? Why is that in your awareness? I've learned through experience is stay out of other people's lives. People will figure it out for themselves. You're involving yourself too much. Focus on you and feeling good on your own. Listen, you got to understand this, guys. This reality, everybody is attracting where they're at in their lives. So you jumping in isn't doing anything. It's not. Take a step back from involving yourself in other people's lives unless they're coming to you and they're saying, can you please help me feel better? And you can give them these practices. But I can tell you from experience, do not involve yourself. Take a step back, focus on you feeling good, and make that your only practice. You get to be an example in people's lives. If they ask you for advice, yes, here you go. I can give you some cool tips that I learned, relaxing, blah, 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 blah. But otherwise, stay out of people's lives. Hey, listen, I'm even talking this in my kids, my own kids. They're having their own experience as well. And they're learning, and I'm their example, and that's it. That's it. But otherwise, I don't involve myself. I don't say, oh, I don't think that girlfriend's good for you. Not that I feel that way, but I'm saying that's involving. That's involving. They are having their own experience. They learn through their own experiences. Don't involve yourself. You need a podcast room in your house so you don't have to. Oh, Mikey, I love to be in my car. You know, it's so funny. I got a new ring light, and I'm going to do a different kind of vlog today. I like the ones where I do my day and I say like a message in the background. So I'm doing that. And I was like, you know what? I think like I want to do my vlogs not my vlogs. I want to do my live at home, but I don't get the best connection. And I don't know, it's something about just going out and doing my live and getting my drink. What if my house is quiet. It's like my kids are in their rooms or they're not even home. What if I think that's a limiting belief. So Dunja, first of all, that's a straight limiting belief, 100%. That's a circumstance, that's a story that you're creating. There only is this moment, so don't even go back. He used to do this, he used to do that. That is such a circumstance. The story doesn't matter. It's the limiting belief behind it. You got to get calm and quiet around that story. That's a limiting belief. And you got to feel good you got to go back to feeling good on your own. Got to go back to filling up your own cup. When it comes to these relationships, guys, got to go back to feeling good on your own. I know, Dream. No, I do. I like when people say like why do you in your car, or you should do this. I'm like, you know what? People don't realize I can't wait to jump in my car to go get my refresher and do my live. And then I do some of my TikToks and stuff like that. You like the way I talk? I don't even know the way I talk. But everybody says that. Thanks, Dream. Yeah, Divine. Yeah, like kind of pretty much what Divine said. Like, just stay calm, because you won't attract those types of situations into your life anymore when you stay calm around this one, right? Just know that you're moving towards best and better because you know more now. But you want to use this story that someone could ever even cheat on you in your reality to practice non-reaction. Because if you keep reacting to the story that someone could ever cheat on you, you keep experiencing those types of experiences, right? That doesn't feel good, straight up, right? So get calm, relax your body, focus more on yourself, feeling good on your own, not needing something or someone to make you feel good. And the more you do that, you'll be moved out of those types of situations. You will not experience that in your reality. Trust me. Trust me. How do you live your truth when it's hard for you to accept and your parents may not agree? So even when it comes to your parents, you really gotta, I say this to my own kids. I say, you got to do what's best for you. Not even if I get involved. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to your dad. You got to always do what's best for you. So I always say that. So you got to really practice staying calm, or even around your parents. When they say something that doesn't resonate with you, try not to really tell them too much. Keep it to yourself. You got to, like, I'm going to use the word detach, but detach yourself from your parents for a little bit, right? And like I said, I give the same advice to my kids. If I say, I think you should do this, this would be good for you, and that doesn't feel good to you, don't listen to me. Never listen to me. You got to do what's best for you because you have your own path. And again, when it comes to your parents, you know, they have such an influence on our lives. You want to just know I know more now. I know more now. I know this is my path. This is my journey, right? And they're just reflecting their limitations onto me in this moment. And I don't really resonate with that anymore. So I'm just going to get calm and quiet and not really say much to them anymore. And when you are around them, and if they ask you how things are going, you just say good and you keep it light. And that's going to, and doing these practices are going to help you move towards best and better for you, for yourself. How or why did you first start your manifestation calming journey? So, I don't know how, I always say, like, I believed it was always going to happen because I was always somewhat like this to a degree. And I think the timing was perfect of how it all happened. But it was, for me, it was definitely going back to work and not being able to, like, I always asked this question, my whole life, guys. I always said, what do I want to be when I grow up? I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to be. I've asked this question since I can't go back. But here's the thing. I've been everything. I've been an EMT. I've been a hairdresser. I babysat. I worked in the dental field. I worked as in accounting. I did everything. And I still would say, I don't know what I want to be. So I think because I've asked that question my whole life kept showing me, like, this isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. This isn't right. And it just led me to this stuff. I've always been this way. I've always been positive. I've always been an uplifter type personality. I had limiting beliefs, though. Let me tell you. I have 100 pounds to lose. Tips for feeling confident and good enough for us. No, you're doing that for you. First of all, user, you ain't doing it for anybody. Let me tell you something about your body, your weight, how you look every day, guys. You are not doing, I've learned that a long time ago. You're not doing these things for a person. You're doing these things for you, because it is only you anyway. But let me tell you right now, I don't do any of the, when I get up every day to get ready, I don't do it for people. I do it for me. So right off the bat, user, you're doing these things for yourself, not for a person, not for anybody, because you're doing it because it feels good for you. So right off the bat, right? And otherwise, that's number one. And number two, don't be okay with where you're at. Be okay with where you're at. You'll find better ways to do that are more in alignment with you. Don't force anything. Don't effort anything. Practice non-reaction to release some limitations that you have around diet, food, and all that. The fact that you're not perfect the way you are, those types of limitations. And the more you can practice non-reaction and calmness in this moment, you'll be led to your path of least resistance. But you're not doing this for anyone. You're doing this for you. Oh, I love that, John. Me neither, Sally. Me neither. I never did. It was like working. I don't want to be doing anything that I have. Like, if I have to do it, I take a step back. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be an easier way. Like, if I feel forced or it's like, oh my God, I have to do this. Certain things, like I have kids, right? If they ask me for a ride and I really don't feel like doing it, a lot of times I wouldn't have to do it. Somehow they would get a ride, somehow just by me chilling out. But I'm there for my kids and stuff. And I make the best of it. That's the thing. Like, if I have to do something, because I do still have kids, right? They still need me. I make the best of it. I make it fun. And like I said, it always moves you towards better and best. You can't go wrong when you're making the best of a situation. But sometimes that takes practice. All right, I'm going to jump off, guys, before I don't have a voice left. Yeah, so Sally, I did manifest that. But I did it through affirmations, and it was very short-lived and temporary. But, you want to do what you love. Always remember that. You want to do what you love. It's not that you just want to work from home. I manifested that too. I didn't know how it was going to work, but it's like you more so want to focus on, I want to do stuff that I love. I want it to be fun, right? And from there you bring in the money happens, but don't make it about the money, because then it's going to go back to that conditional living, and you're going to be too focused on the money, and this ain't going to be, it won't be fun anymore. It won't be fun. So it's always got to be about flow, getting back into the flow. Again, that's what my next ebook is called, How to Stay in the Flow. And I'm done. I am officially done it. I'm editing it. It'll be out October 24th, guys, so stay tuned for that. Thanks, stream. All right, guys, everybody have a great rest of the day. I love you guys. I will post this live on my YouTube. Go on my YouTube. I have all my lives, especially if you're new, guys. I put all my lives on there. This live will be on there tomorrow or tonight, depending on, it takes time for it to download onto here before I can upload it onto YouTube. And private Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group. Super supportive, super positive. You guys can join that as well. And you can find that all, you know where to find it. On my link, blah, blah, blah. All right, guys, everybody have the best weekend, the best day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I should be on tomorrow, but like I said, you never know how it's going to go. Biggest hugs to you too, Bobby, and everybody. Love you guys. Look, bye, guys. Like, I'm never going to see you again. Like, so dramatic. All right, bye, guys. Love you guys.